Vice President optimistic free trade area will galvanize Africa GDP growth. INEC unveils final list of candidates for February by-election. Court grants Emefiele a request to travel out of FCT.
This is the news.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed optimism that the African Continental Free Trade Area would help galvanize gross domestic product (GDP) growth on the continent. Shettima spoke during the breakfast with African heads of state to launch the action plan for African Continental Free Trade Area. The breakfast was held on the sidelines of the ongoing World Economic Forum held in Davos, Switzerland. Shettima said based on the World Bank projections, African Continental Free Trade Area would increase Africa's GDP by $450 billion in 2035 and exports by more than 81%. He said the need to increase intra-African trade, currently at 15%, and its potential to raise the continent's GDP are some of the compelling reasons why the Free Trade Area Agreement must not be allowed to fail. The Vice President observed that negotiations have turned out to be too slow, with clashes between national and continental priorities. He said these has led to too few consummated deals among countries since January 2021 to date. The federal government has assured workers that it will clear the arrears of the 35,000 naira wage award. The government also reiterated its commitment to addressing issues in the national minimum wage agreement reached with organized labor in 2023. The Minister of Labor and Employment, Nkeruka Onyejocha, disclosed the government's commitment towards implementing agreements with trade unions during separate meetings with the leadership of the Trade Union Congress and Congress of University Academics in Abuja. He also said the government had resumed the payment of the wage award. On his part, the President of Trade Union Congress, Comrade Festus Osifo, commended the government for the major steps taken so far. But Osifo urged the government to fulfill the remaining 20% of that agreement. The federal government has ordered investigations into the explosion that rocked Ibadan, your state, on Tuesday, claiming 3 lives and injuring 80 persons. In a statement, Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, says officers from the ministry will work and collaborate with Oyo State government to know the actual cause. It commends Governor Seyi Makinde for the rapid mobilization of emergency response, including the deployment of fire service, police and security agencies. The statement therefore urges members to always be safety conscious and report persons or organizations endangering public health and security. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has published the final list of candidates for the February 3, 2024 by-election in Nigeria. In a statement, INEC National Commissioner Sam Olumekun says the by-election became necessary because of death or resignation of members of the National and State Houses of Assembly. The elections is expected to take place on Saturday, 3rd February 2024, across 9 states of the Federation, covering 2 senatorial districts. The states include Ebonyi South and Yobe East, 4 federal constituencies, Shanga, Gasiki Yarui Federal Constituency of Kebbi State, Surulere 1 Federal Constituency of Lagos State, Akoko North East, Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency of Ondo State, and Jalingo, Yorozing Federal Constituency of Taraba State. Also, 3 state constituencies, Guma 1 State Constituency of Benue State, Chibok State Constituency of Borno State, and Chukun State Constituency of Kaduna State. The Commission says the timetable and schedule of activities, the personnel, particulars, and final list of candidates have been published on INEC state offices. An APC House of Representative aspirant for Akoko Northeast, Akoko Northwest Federal Constituency, Olubenga Araoyibo, has rejected the outcome of the party delegates' Congress and primary elections. The primary elections had produced Ife Eyindero as APC candidate for the February 6 House of Representatives by-election in the constituency. Araoyibo described the exercise in it as a charade and the outcome unacceptable. He accused Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo of hijacking the process to ensure his preferred aspirant emerged. Aranyibo wondered what the role of immigration officials and prison warders were in a delegates' congress and primary election. He vowed to seek redress in the court of law after exhausting all internal measures to address his concerns. And the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has begun its constitutional responsibility of conducting the verification of the status of political parties in the country. INEC's Director, Election and Party Monitoring, Ajiya Awa Habibu, spoke during a visit to the National Chairman of the APC, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje. Said the visit was part of the Commission's annual verification of political parties. She added that the team would also verify the party's audited accounts. APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje commended INEC for effectively handling the country's electoral process despite challenges. While reacting on violence before, during and after elections, Ganduje said politicians must be held responsible for election violence. You're listening to Adaba News at 3 on 88.9 FM Akure, transmitting from Ilaramokin. After the break, court grants Emefiele a request to travel out of FCT. These and more when we return.
Achievers College of Nursing Sciences is now in Akure. We are pleased to announce that the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria has approved the establishment of Achievers College of Nursing Sciences 72 Ado Owo Road, Ijapo Housing Estate, Akure, Ondo State, which is an affiliate of Achievers University, Owo, Ondo State, now invites application for qualified candidates for the 2023-2024 academic session admission. Candidates must possess at least 5 O-level credits in English, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology in not more than 2 sittings, and must have obtained a minimum score of 150 at the 2023 UTME with the same correct subject combination. Interested applicants can obtain application forms from the registry of the college at Akure at a cost of 10,000 naira. Screening of applicants holds daily, Monday to Friday, between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. at Achievers College of Nursing Sciences, Kilometer 2, Ado-Owo Road, Ijapo Housing Estate, Akure, Ondo State. Call 0703-826-4197 or 803-222-9522.
Glad to know you're still there for news updates and live streaming. Visit our website www.adaba889.fm or download Adaba FM app on Google Play Store. You can be part of us on our social media platforms www.facebook.com/AdabaFM 88.9 on Facebook, at Adaba889FM on Instagram, and Adaba FM TV on YouTube. You can also provide us information via email, newsroom@adaba889.fm. The Federal Capital Territory High Court has granted immediate past Governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele's request to travel out of the Federal Capital Territory. In his ruling, Justice Amza Muhazu said Emefiele must remain in the country. On his bail terms, he was restricted to the FCT. The charge against the former governor of the CBN was also amended to 20 from 6. The amended charges against Emefiele now includes criminal breach of trust, forgery, conspiracy to commit forgery, fraud, and conspiracy to commit felony. The Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by the candidate of the African Democratic Congress (ADC), Nafiu Bala, against the election of Muhammadu Yahya as governor of Gombe State. The 5-member panel of the Apex Court, led by Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, dismissed the appeal shortly after the appellants withdrew it. Meanwhile, the Apex Court has adjourned to Friday for judgment in other appeal filed by Jibrin Bade of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The panel fixed Friday for judgment shortly after parties adopted and argued their briefs of arguments in the appeal, which expires on Sunday, January 21. The Apex Court also reserved judgment in the appeal filed by Ashiru Isa of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Kaduna State against the election of Governor Ubasani to a date that will be communicated to all the parties. Adaba FM's management has charged the Federal Safety Corps Ondo State Command to imbibe the spirit of discipline among their staff. The General Manager, Sir Martin Zayola, gave the charge during the FRSC familiarization visit to the station. He stressed the need for the agency to be professional in their duties.
That fear is no more there. I think you need to go back to the basic to know exactly what was missing. This job was being done the way it should be done, with what you can call discipline. I've seen where people are fighting openly with, even on video, with your men, all because of what? So your organization needs to go back to the basic of maintaining some level of discipline so that people will know that this job you are doing is for the safety of everybody.
The general manager expressed the station's readiness to work closely with FRSC for the purpose of enlightening the public and reducing road accidents significantly. Earlier, the unit commander of Ilayamoke, Mr. Job Inawo, seeks the BFM support in order to enlighten residents on road safety best practices. He noted that the media had played a significant role in saving human lives in Ondo State.
We bring a message of safety, just as you can see. Our major stock in trade is to ensure safety on the highways and carrying out the gospel of safety. We can't do that without collaborating with you as our critical stakeholder, because media advocacy is a veritable tool in reaching the wider audience in terms of the gospel of safety on our highways. It is on that note that we find it very necessary to familiarize with you on the onset, to collaborate with you in many of our activities that we'll be doing to make sure the business of safety on the highway is far-reaching and is achieved.
The unit commander pledged to strengthen relations with the BFM for effective sensitization. And Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has received the immediate past elected local government chairman of the state who paid him a condolence visit. The group, led by Honorable Benga Olani, former chairman of Accra South local government, expressed sympathy on the demise of the late former governor Arakunrilu Arutimi Akeredolu. Olani commended the late governor's impactful legacy, noting that his achievements across various sectors, from infrastructure to education, agriculture and security, will never be forgotten. Olani therefore expressed admiration for Aiyedatiwa's leadership, acknowledging the preservation of peace and continuity of the late governor's legacy. The former chairman then declared their total support for the new administration in the state. In response, the governor thanked the former council chairman for their visit and emphasized the significant contributions of late former governor. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will this evening lock horns with host country Cote d'Ivoire in an AFCON tie. This will be Super Eagles' second match at the ongoing 34th edition of the African Cup of Nations. The first match against Equatorial Guinea ended 1-0, while host country Cote d'Ivoire defeated Guinea-Bissau 2-0 in their first match. Kickoff 6 p.m. To end at the news are 3 a recap of our top stories. Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed optimism that the African Continental Free Trade Area would help galvanize gross domestic products (GDP) on the continent. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has published the final list of candidates for the February 3, 2024 by-elections in Nigeria. The Federal Capital Territory High Court has granted the immediate past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele's request to travel out of the Federal Capital Territory. And that's about news at 3. Editor Adeyemi Lawal. I'm Michael Akintunde. Good afternoon.